What's going on, guys? ChainFeeds here, and I have two very interesting stories that you guys will either love or hate, and send me love or hate. So, here we go. We're gonna go right into it. The first story is gonna be how I got hit by a car, and the second story is gonna be how I got my friend grounded. So, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Enjoy. Okay, so the first story is how I got hit by a car. When I was about 8 years old, I remember that we always used to have bike competitions, and what I mean by bike competitions is we had about 4 or 5 friends in the neighborhood, and we would always ride our bikes up and down the road around the development. We would always have fun, see who could ride their bike faster, who could, do tricks on their bikes, who could, basically win in the very end, who could, basically like outspeed her, like, a child's play. So, there was this particular day where we all decided that we were gonna have this tournament type race where this was the, like, whoever wins this was the winner. They were the fastest, they were the best in the neighborhood, yada yada yada. And so I'm ahead of everybody. Like we say go, I'm ahead of everybody. I'm dashing down the road with my bike, and at this point I'm doing tricks. I'm looking back, I'm like, you guys can't keep up with me, I'm the fastest around here, yada yada yada. And like, I would say they were a good minute behind me. Like, that's how far away they were behind me. And so I decided to do a little bit of tricks, like one hand, like holding the bar with one hand, or taking my feet off the pedals, or doing all these silly things. But I constantly looked back to see how far behind they were. That was a big mistake I made, and I realized it's a big mistake I made because what happened was I looked forward after looking back for about 2 or 3 seconds, and I get hit by a stationary car. Probably one of the worst experiences of my life because it was entirely my fault. You can't imagine the laughs and worry and all the things that took place in those little bit of seconds I got hit by that stationary car. Now, my friends eventually caught up with me. The one kid was like, serves you right, ha ha ha, you deserved it. But everyone else was like, oh my god, are you okay? Let me get your mom, I'm gonna make sure you're okay, blah 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 blah. So I go back to my house to go get my mom, right? Well, my grandmother, right? And as I'm laying there, in pain, crying, the lady comes out of her house to see what's going on. She's like, oh my god, are you okay? Did you get hit? Blah 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 blah, what happened? And I explained to her how I got hit by her stationary truck, and that was pretty awkward. So I could tell she tried not to laugh, but I mean, let's be honest here, I just got hit by her stationary truck. Who would not laugh at that? That's pretty funny. And so she's still checking my head to make sure I'm okay. She's checking my temperature, make sure it hasn't like somehow rose substantially through some way. And at this same time, my grandmother comes out and she sees this lady holding me. So the first thing she's thinking is, did this lady just run over my grandson? And so I'm like, she's screaming. She's like, did you just hit my grandson? What's wrong with you? Blah 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 blah. And she's like, no, your grandson got hit by my stationary truck. I didn't do anything. I was just making sure he was okay, yada yada yada. And so she's like not believing it because who would get hit by a stationary truck? But then I have to convince her that I really did get hit by her stationary truck, and that was one of the most weirdest experiences I've ever went through. Because they had some eye contact, and it was pretty funny because they were laughing at me. Yeah, they were laughing as her 8-year-old grandson was crying on the ground, and this complete stranger she didn't even know was, yeah, they were laughing. I felt like I deserved it. I was being pretty cocky. And so, yeah, they eventually, we went back to the house, and needless to say, there were a few phone calls talking about me getting hit by a stationary truck. So that was pretty awkward. Needless to say, that wasn't forgotten for multiple months. So yeah, that was that story. Another story I wanted to talk about was how I got my friend grounded. I don't think this is fair for her, and I don't think this made any sense for me either, but I would say that I was kind of in the wrong for even doing this. So me and a few of the Carnage guys were chilling in a call, right? And we decide to basically screw around with one of our fans because, she was like a constant fan. She talked to all the Carnage guys and stuff like that. I'm not going to give any names in case her douchebag father is watching this and he grounds her even more. But what he did, well, what I did, excuse me, was after we were messing around with her on Twitter for a little bit, Carnage Nader, or my friend Sam, he decided to tweet out 50 retweets and Carnage Chain will express how he really feels to blah blah blah. And I'm like, really? You're really gonna do that? And so he's laughing, we're all laughing and stuff like that. So I decided to be even bigger troll to like retaliate. And so she warned me beforehand. She said, no matter what you do, do not talk to my father. And her father was following her on Twitter. And that's why I was kind of scared about some of the jokes that she actually got on Twitter. It was really weird because some of them were really sexual. So I was wondering what her father thought. But I decided to tweet him saying, yo. And so he's like, what's up? Like, I didn't even expect him to respond. I just thought he would ignore me. But he said, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And so I respond saying, nothing much, you. And then he responds saying, nothing. Who is you? And so my veins are kind of bulging out at this point because I'm like, did you just say, who is you? You couldn't say, who are you? You said, who is you? And so I said, because of Carnage Nader, need I remind you, Nader told me to say this. He said, I said, your stepson. He said, alright, cut with the bullshit because I'm not about it, blah, 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 blah. He's like flipping out on me and I'm like, oh, no. You don't even know me, so how are you going to flip out on me? I don't think so. And so with my douchebagginess, I said, bitch, untag. Needless to say, she got in a lot of trouble. And I knew she got in a lot of trouble because her father actually replied to me in her DMs. As in, he took her phone and replied to me through her DMs. So yeah, that's how I got my friend grounded. Hope you guys enjoy. Peace.